time to move on to some lighter news. Julian Assange. So you have been following the Julian Assange case. I've been following the Julian Assange case. Here is a little bit of an update. This is from Kevin Gosztola, who works at Shadowproof. They've been providing a lot of really good coverage on this case. So here's something interesting. Yesterday, lead prosecutor James Lewis asserted Assange exaggerates his symptoms of depression. And in fact, no one with a severe or moderate depression could possibly function and run a media organization. Graham, let's just stop there for a second. So isn't it great that not only are these prosecutors just committing this blatant assault on the idea of press freedom worldwide, but now they're insulting an entire community of people, an entire mental health profession. They're just insulting. Like, have you no shame, sir? Like, what the hell?
No, they don't. I mean, literally, like, oh, he's just making it up. Like,
you can, if you have depression, you can. There are so many people around the world who have depression, who do amazing things with their lives, who can hold. That is such. I mean, that's such an awful thing. And the fact that someone's saying that in 2020 with a straight face in a court of law is just so disgusting on every level imaginable. And especially disgusting when you put it back into the case. You know, first, it was only about a week ago where they were making this big deal about Julian Assange is unhinged and he's just so outrageous. Look at what he did in the courtroom. What did he do in the courtroom? He called what's going on nonsense. Okay. The guy has been put in solitary confinement pretty much for about 7 years, which is torture. He's been through all these ridiculous things. If he's extradited to the United States, he's going to have this closed-door trial because of the Espionage Act, which was put in place after around World War I to deal with people who were informing enemies when there was international conflict around the frickin' world. It has no bearing on today and age, but they're using it against Julian Assange. Nonsense is the understatement of the century to describe what this whole thing is. So first he's unhinged, then he's embellishing. He's not bummed out. Come on.
Well, I mean, the person who said that obviously is probably one of these people that doesn't even understand clinical depression and is like, just get over it. You know, it's like, and they don't understand the mental illness. It'd be like, oh, a couple little cancer tumors, just get over it. Just have a better mood. You know, like they don't realize it's a significant thing. And the fact that, I mean, again, as you said, there's millions of people operating with depression. I mean, operating at professional athletes. I mean, politicians, CEOs of business. Like it's to say that is so ridiculous. I mean, this the level of bullshit that is coming out of this trial. It never ceases to amaze me. Every day there's like a new crazy thing from some judge that's obviously being told what to say. I don't trust the United States government. I don't trust the British government. I don't trust any of the Five Eyes governments. And the ruling class is just a detestable bunch of soulless, maggot-ridden parasites that just need to be exterminated, like the rats that they are.
It is bullshit upon bullshit upon bullshit, because the charge itself is so extremely bogus. There's no evidence whatsoever that this guy did some kind of hacking. None. I mean, we all know this. There's no evidence. They tortured Chelsea Manning to try to get her to say that he did. She wouldn't do it, probably because it ain't true. So the initial charge, complete bullshit. Even if there was some inkling of relevance in the initial charge, even if there was, which chances are pretty much 100% there's not. But even if there was, to entertain the hypothetical, it would be a political offense This guy has spent 7 years in solitary confinement. Pretty much, he was denied sunlight. He was, or for the most part, I think he was allotted very, very little, if any. He was, kept in a room. I mean, you can see the videos of the exercises, quote unquote, he was able to do, where he's pretty much just able to sway his body back and forth to just move his muscles. This is torture. Even if there was any semblance of relevance here, the guy has, quote unquote, done his time, even if there was, which there isn't. So it's completely bogus. And then you have the prosecution wanting to have their cake and eat it too in every single situation. Oh, well, the Espionage Act, we're going to impose it on him because he violated the Espionage Act, this complete bogus act in the United States. But you know what we're not going to apply to him? The First Amendment, because he's not an American citizen, and we only remember that when it's convenient for us to remember that part. When it benefits us to use something against him, we'll do that.
Yeah.
But when something would play in his favor, oh, well, then he's not an American citizen. Right. He's unhinged. Oh, okay. Well, if he's so unhinged, I mean, clearly, he's suffering from depression. He wouldn't be able to stand trial in the United States. It's too dangerous. Oh, no. We weren't being serious. He doesn't really have depression. He's faking that. He's fine. Who wouldn't be fine? Think of what the guy's been through. Who wouldn't be just happy and chipper? He's good.
I mean, to put these prosecutors in solitary confinement and say, all right, if you think he's making up the depression, let's put you in solitary confinement just for 6 months and see how you're doing.
And you react to it. Let's see what words you use. Yeah. Are you going to call it nonsense and we can tell you how unhinged you are?
Yep.
All right. So let's see what else is to this thread. I kind of scrolled through it, but I haven't really. All right. So now here, Dr. Quentin Dealey, National Health Service psychiatrist who specializes in autism, ADHD, and other mental health issues, will testify first. All right. So Assange told Daly about conditions he feared if extradited to the United States, fears of isolations, and fears of new indictment. Yeah, I mean, those are completely rational fears. We know for a fact. I mean, you think it's bad now with what's going on over in London, where they are denying a lot of press access, where they are limiting press access. They're having all these tech issues that the press can't be there. They're not giving him decent access to his attorneys. You think it's bad now. In the United States, it will be on complete and utter lockdown. There will be nobody that knows a thing, and we will have no clue what they're doing to him. And that's not an embellishment. No, it's what they're just doing it in plain sight. They're just doing this kangaroo court, abusing all of our, oh, we're such a good democracy, just abusing all of it. Because our court system is where we're supposed to see what real democracy looks like. No, we're seeing this is what dictators do in kangaroo courts. I mean, this is what banana republics do. They just make some, oh, hear ye. And this is what they're I mean, at every turn, this isn't a fair, there's nothing about this is fair. And anyone who doesn't believe that Julian Assange is a journalist, he's not doing anything. He hasn't done anything worse than Ben Bradley did, or any of the whistleblowers that are currently uncovering stuff that the Washington Post and New York Times have done recently. I mean, oh yeah. So all this stuff they're saying, oh, he published this and it endangered. Okay, well, the Guardian published it too. Yeah, the New York Times published it too. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that any of those outlets should receive any kind of penalty for that. They published information that was in the public interest. But I'm just saying, why is Julian Assange facing issues and nobody else? So there's an update on Assange, which, it's all you can do, I feel like, is just kind of grab onto hope when you see all of the journalists and activists and organizations that will not be silent about this and will not allow the defense of Julian Assange, which is the defense of publishers, which is the defense of journalism, which is the defense of freedom of the press. They will not let that go away. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. An article at Ron Placone. We'll go go through it together and make it our own. Get your